everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Winds, so let's keep going. Upon entering, the tea shop owner smiled and brought us freshly brewed tea.
もしかしてわざわざ入れ直してくれたんですか？しかも羊羹まで。
Sitting beside our tea was a neatly arranged platter of sweet bean jelly.
はい、ありがとうございました。本当に助かりました。
お礼を言われるほどのことじゃないですけど。でもありがとうございます。僕甘いもの大好きなんです。
それはよかった。存分に召し上がってください。それではごゆっくり。
The owner seemed to bow after every sentence and then returned to tend to his counter.
得しちゃいましたね。羊羹よかったら半分どうぞ。
Oh no, I think the owner means for you to eat all of this.
そうですね。では僕がいただいてしまいますね。
He cut the sweet bean jelly into elegantly sliced halves, and he expressed delight after each bite. In my experience so far, Samurai didn't even seem to smile often, but every time he took a bite, he grinned like a child, smiling as if he was the happiest person alive. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch, maybe, to guess that he and I were close in age. As this thought came to my mind, I could still hear customers murmuring, whispering amongst themselves and to each other.
あのお侍さんが身風呂を追い払ってくれたんだって。
そうらしいわ。武士の中にも意外といい人がいるものなのね。
しかし役者みたいな美なんだな。その上腕も立つなんて。
The samurai seemed to overhear their discussion, timidly retreating from his initial enthusiasm. As soon as he finished drinking his tea,
すみません。僕の分のお勘定はここに置いておきます。
he rushed to get up, but not before slipping me some last words.
それでは僕はここで失礼します。もう無茶なことはしないようにしてくださいね。
Oh. The samurai fled the store, almost like a dream wisping around one's mind after awakening. He almost gave me no opportunity to thank him properly for earlier. I rushed after the samurai. Wait! I chased after him, yelling to catch his attention.
どうかしましたか？
Thank you so much for earlier. You saved me.
別にお礼を言われるほどのことはしていませんよ。
He turned away from me, stopping to gaze at the clouds swirling above us.
でも新選組は随分評判が悪いみたいですね。さっきのようなことをしてたら仕方がないのかもしれないけど。
Well, what should I say? Apologize about Takeda, explain the situation. Okay, so we're going to pick explain the situation. It's not as if I know the men of the Shinsengumi better than anyone else. I don't think all of the Shinsengumi men would ever behave like that other man did. He was just plain cruel. I'm sure you understand better than anyone, but out of all of the warriors in the city, there are bound to be the rotten eggs in the bunch.
知ってます。僕もあの人が新選組を代表してるとは思ってないですから。
There was a pause in our conversation, and the wind whistled softly in the background. The samurai didn't break his concentration, staring intently into my face. His eyes seemed to be searching for something, perhaps a faint glimmer of a long-lost memory. If only he could tell me what seemed to be on the tip of his tongue, but he shut his eyes and turned.
それでは僕はそろそろ行きますね。
Oh, sorry for stopping you.
気にしないでください。会えて嬉しかったよ。
We never gave him our name, did we? He knows who we are. Huh? How did he know my name? Who was this man? The samurai turned his back to me and departed. He wasn't familiar to me. Was I to him? Well, obviously he knows our name. I didn't have much time to consider what any of this meant because Hijikata returned shortly after.
少し待たせちまったな。どうだ、コードさんの情報は何かあったか？
We should tell you about Takeda. Oh, Hijikata. I quietly shook my head in response.
そうか。まあ、そう簡単に足取りがつかめるわけはねえ。気にするな。
No? Okay. As we walked back towards the headquarters, I filled Hijikata in on the earlier proceedings.
武田がそんな真似を？
Somehow, he was able to contain a palpable rage without lashing it out at me.
今日見たことは誰にも話すな。お前の面倒を見ている幹部大使たちにもだ。いいの？
His voice was stern, and I quietly nodded.
言わなくても分かってるとは思うが、事情を知らねえ大使には決して気を許すんじゃねえぞ。新選組も一枚岩じゃねえ。特に武田の野郎はお前の事情を知らされていねえからな。
I understand. Once Hijikata was convinced of my understanding, he probed more questions.
で、お前を助けてくれたその侍っつうのはどこの誰だったんだ？
Oh, I forgot to ask his name.
それじゃ例のしようもねえじゃねえか。
I don't know. It all happened so fast.
まあいい。どこかで見かけたら今度こそ名前を聞いておけ。
He curtly muttered, then left me with his last thought.
親父さんのことは残念だったな。斎藤か新八たちが何か手がかりをつかんでくれてるといいんだがな。
Yeah, hopefully. Ah, yes. I'd forgotten that I'd accomplished nothing I wanted to today. We rushed back to the base. Once back at headquarters, we discovered the sighting of my father at Terada Inn was false, crushing the sliver of happiness I'd held on to. Chapter 2, 1864. Oh, okay. Alright, I think we've seen from here, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip up. Alright, we're back. So, we had one other option so far. And it was the same as last time, so we just chose to remain in the compound. But now we've got our second option. Last time we chose, I'll go. This time, we're going to choose why me. Why me? I feel like if I were to go with him, I would only be a burden. Why did he choose me? I can't stand the thought of getting in someone's way and being the reason something bad happens.
足手まといといえども人数には変わりませんよ。
Senon responded while giving me a cold gaze.
伝令に向かう途中、他の浪士に足止めされるかもしれません。それ以外にも長州側の遠兵が存在する可能性もあります。もし伝令の道中に敵と遭遇したのなら、土方君との合流も遅れてしまうでしょう。
Senon finished with a soft smile I hadn't seen him use for weeks.
さて、私の言いたいことはわかりますか？
はい。自分が長州遠兵の足止めを行い、最悪は彼女だけでも土方隊に合流させよと。
What? It sounded as if they were suggesting if things went badly, Yamazaki would sacrifice himself.
もちろん山崎君が失敗するとは思っていませんよ。我々には人手が足りず、君には仕事が多い。会津藩や諸師大への連絡も担ってもらわねばなりませんから。
That would have Yamazaki running all across Kyoto. I suppose it really drove home just how thin the Shinsengumi was stretched. And there's no other person that could do this job. What about Shimida? Shimida is another Shinsengumi spy who is trusted enough with knowledge of my situation. Sanin shook his head. The Shinsengumi need every single member they can get, and Shimida was with Shikoku team. which meant that, apart from Yamazaki, I was the only one who could possibly serve as a messenger at the moment.
確か雪村君だったな。護身程度の術なら身につけていると聞いたが。
Yeah, I do.
残念ながら君の安全は保証できない。それで構わないというのであれば。
If I tried to run away while we were out, I had no doubt that he would kill me without hesitation. This mission is his priority, not my life. Even so, I'll go. I can take care of myself. You don't need to worry about me. Sanin gave me a small smile. I knew he wanted to join the battle more than anyone, but we both knew that wasn't possible. The least that I could do was carry out my mission.
では、総長命令、しかと承りました。
He bowed then as he stepped out of the room and turned to me.
全力で俺についてこい。
I took off after him, my legs working as hard as they could. Into the dark street we ran. I discovered quickly that half a year indoors did little for my physique, and I was out of shape. After only a few blocks, I was gasping for breath. Yamazaki, who was running ahead of me, suddenly stopped and looked sharply behind us.
何があっても、この通りを走り抜けろ。後ろを振り向く必要はない。
Don't tell me someone's behind us.
君は知らなくてもいい。
Seems like Yamazaki's hunch was right. What should I tell Yamazaki? Yamazaki, you should go. I promise to give the message. I promise to give the message. I understand. I will get the message to them.
そう言ってくれると助かる。後のことは頼んだぞ。
Got it. When we'd left the compound, I'd already decided that Yamazaki deserved my utmost trust. So, I didn't look back. As I stepped into the next intersection, I saw a flash of metal from the corner of my eye.
君は惑うな。じきに合流できる。白の大服を目指してこのまま走れ。
Right. I kept running. I pretended I didn't hear the sounds of swords ringing against one another behind me and ran. My knees felt weak, and my legs shook, but I kept going. They'd have to collapse or tear themselves to pieces before I'd stop. Even so, I felt so slow, I wanted to cry out, to scream at my body to go faster, faster. A bright light suddenly cut through the darkness, and I placed my hand over my eyes from the glare. My heart stopped. Was it Chosu's shoulders? I froze.
何やってんだてめえは。
I very nearly began to cry with relief. Hijikata was not dressed in the usual light blue jacket, but rather bright white uniforms to be seen in dimly lit places. Instead, I simply collapsed as Harada reached out to grab me.
大丈夫か。勝手に豚書から出てると土方さんに怒られるぞ。
I grabbed hold of Harada's hand and pulled my body to its feet. I wanted to tell him I had permission to leave and explain it was all right for me to be there, but I was so winded that I could barely speak. Besides, I wasn't sent to Hijikata to make excuses. I took as deep of a breath as my shuttered lungs could manage before speaking. They're meeting at Ikeda. Suddenly Hijikata's expression changed.
本命はあっちか。
I nodded rapidly.
敵の会合場所は。
Hijikata gestured toward me.
三男さんなら脱走を見過ごさねえ。つまりこいつは総長命令で豚書を出たってことだ。
よく俺らと合流できたな。今日の地理には詳しくないんだろ。
Yamazaki. I finally got some of my breath back, and I did my best to tell them what had happened.
合図や諸次第はどうなった？もう池田屋に行ってるのか？
I just shook my head. Hijikata thought for a moment, then spoke.
斎藤と原田は隊を率いて池田屋へ向かえ。俺はよそで別件を処理しておく。
Harada and Saito nodded curtly, then turned to their business.
あんたもこれ以上の単独行動は危険だ。俺たちか副長かどちらかに同行しろ。
I still lacked the breath to respond properly, so I simply nodded. Okay, we both know that we couldn't leave me there. Whom should I accompany? Hijikata or Ikeda? Or go to Ikeda Inn? So we are going to stay with Hijikata like we did the last time, which means that I'll need to skip up from here, but that means I'm just going to end the episode here for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.